Hi, I'm Susan Gleaton, root cause dietitian with a certification in gastrointestinal nutrition. So what all that means is that if you come to me with some type of digestive problem, I'm going to try to find the reason that it began in the first place so that we can take steps to correct that, so that as we resolve the problem and the symptoms subside, then it doesn't come back later. I've been talking about some of my favorite gut healing supplements, and L-Glutamine is one of those. For some reason, I quit using L-Glutamine for a short period of time, but as I was reviewing my gut healing supplements, kind of like, I really should start using it more often now. Now, L-Glutamine is fantastic for gut healing, but it is not for everybody. So I'm going to read the list of the reasons why you would not want to use L-Glutamine, so that if you have one of these conditions, then you don't have to listen to the rest of this video. So you don't want to use L-Glutamine if you have kidney disease, liver disease, Ray's syndrome, or certain types of cancers. In fact, if you have any type of cancer, then L-Glutamine probably won't be recommended for you, because there's certain types of cancers that have been found to feed off L-Glutamine. It's also not for you if you're prone to hives, or especially to migraines, because in some people it can trigger hives or migraines. But if you're not in any of those categories, then L-Glutamine is a well-researched and excellent gut healing nutrient, because it is used in such great quantities by the enterocytes, which are like the little housemaids of our gut lining that help to heal or seal the tight junctions, and loose junctions, or junctions that aren't tight, is one of the reasons for intestinal impermeability, or what a lot of us just say, leaky gut. So I'm just going to read to you some of the highlights of one of the research papers. And so it says that L-Glutamine has, it's a major nutrient to maintain intestinal barrier function in animals and humans. Okay, we just talked about that. Most of the studies have been done with irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, colitis, diverticulosis, and diverticulitis. It says that depletion of L-Glutamine results in villus atrophy and decreased expression of tight junction proteins and increased intestinal permeability. So what they're saying there is that it results in like breaking down of the gut lining and more intestinal permeability, or leaky gut. And that L-Glutamine supplementation can improve gut barrier function in several experimental conditions of injury and in some clinical situations. So what they're saying there is that when they kind of experimented with some kind of injury, that the L-Glutamine in supplement form did improve the gut barrier function. And they said that preventive effects of L-Glutamine in experimental models of intestinal injuries have been reported. And so that's just saying that you could use L-Glutamine preventively to help keep your gut healthy. And then, of course, they end all research articles with this statement that despite promising data in experimental models, further studies are needed to evaluate L-Glutamine supplementation in clinical practice. So they always say that. I guess they want more funding for more research. That's a great idea. So you can get L-glutamine in your diet. So it's abundant in a lot of foods that you're probably eating. But the foods highest in L-glutamine are going to be like fish and seafood and meat, any type of meat like beef, chicken, pork. It's also in dairy products like milk and cheese and yogurt and whey, eggs, and then it's in like nuts and seeds and tofu and dark leafy greens. But the highest dark leafy green in L-glutamine was parsley. And then it's also in seaweed like, say, spirulina that we sometimes just sprinkle on things like when we make guacamole, we'll put a little spirulina in there. And then it's in red kidney beans. Anyway, those are all really good sources of L-glutamine. So I like people to get L-glutamine in their diet every day, which is not hard to do. But when I'm using it in a gut healing protocol, then I'm going to want it in supplemental form because you're getting a much more concentrated source. I like to use the powdered form of L-glutamine versus the capsules, simply because it's much more economical, and you have to swallow a lot of capsules to get the amount of L-glutamine, in like one serving, and then, it's just a lot of those gel caps to have to swallow. So one of the brands I like, the nice thing about L-glutamine products is pretty much all of them, the only ingredient in there is L-glutamine. So you're just getting powdered L-glutamine, no additives, no nothing. But one that I recommend often is by a brand called Protocol for Life Balance, and it's just called L-glutamine powder. But there's many other brands. This one seemed to be a little bit better priced with the same amount of L-glutamine per serving. And so that's one that I do often recommend.